Hey guys, thank you for joining again, and I'm terribly sorry for all the inconvenience for you guys. I know, yeah, chat windows enabled, and thank you. Now we get access to the chat window. Thank you very much, Sarita Devi. So I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. This is something which I did not anticipate. So let me quickly start from the beginning. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mute you all guys. If there is any question you guys have, we will have regular intervals. At that time, you would be able to put your questions into the chat window, and we would address that accordingly. And thank you, Divya, for like resolving this issue. So let me place yourself on mute just to make sure like this session is recorded properly and you guys are able to hear me clearly. Okay. Okay. Let me share my screen. So just to make sure you have the proper experience. I know like there are a lot of disturbances previously, so I will start from the beginning. This is Tableau learning experience with me, Ponshankar Palanivel, and I would be walking you guys through this workshop. A brief introduction about Excelytics is the level of experience they have. They have half a decade of experience into training professionals, and then they've been training in almost all data analytics tool, which is right now at the top in the market. Tableau, Power BI, Excel macros, and all the skill sets it's available with Excelytics. And it's an authorized Microsoft certification testing center. They are ISO certified, and they've also won Urban Pro Excellence Award for 2016, 2017, and 2019. Okay. And this is about myself. My name is Ponshankar Palanivel, and my expertise is into data visualization, business intelligence, data science, machine learning, automation. I have more than 8 years of experience working in all these domains. And then I also have worked on a lot of challenging tasks in different organizations, helping them solve it. Okay, and then this is my LinkedIn profile. This is my YouTube channel where I put in a lot of videos for data visualization, automation, machine learning, data science, etc. So, and this is my professional Twitter handle. So whoever would like to get in touch with me to understand the opportunities in Tableau or to understand any other opportunities with respect to the other famous domains which is out there, you can very well do so. So for your convenience, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to put in these details into the chat window so that you would be able to access it a little more easier. Okay, 1 second. Okay, everyone, I'm just putting all the contact details here. And we will go into the slideshow. So what we would be seeing also is terms and conditions in terms of the participation certificate. Excelytics has a set of conditions that is required for the participation certificate, which is you guys would have to attend the full session. I will try to make it as interesting as possible because I know it's a 3-hour session, and due to some issues with the technology which we are using in this virtual world, we started it a little late. Please anticipate this meeting to be extended beyond 12 for maximum 10 to 15 minutes. I will try to cover it everything within that, given the delay we had initially. But then I will try to make it as interesting as possible. We have the component of understanding the concept, and then we have the component of understanding, getting some hands-on knowledge. So please stay put, and then I will try to make this as interesting as possible. And then we will, there would be a feedback. I think Divya will send across a link for the feedback, and you guys will have to give the feedback. And links to be shared during session. So what I understood is Divya would be sharing the session anytime during the meeting just to make sure like you guys are attending it. Yeah, that's totally a Divya's call. So I will leave it up to her. So, but you will have to fill the feedback which is sent across, and the link is the output of it. And then the e-certification would be sent through email, which is the best way. And then you can contact this number for any more details. Just a gist of how the certification would look. This is a certification. It says recognition for participation in Tableau workshop. Okay. Let's look at the agenda of this session. We will be first looking into an introduction to BI, business intelligence, and then we will be looking into what is data visualization, and then why Tableau, why specifically Tableau, because there are a lot of data visualization tool that is available in the market. So why specifically Tableau? And then we will look into Tableau's introduction. We will look into how Tableau compares itself with Excel. And then we will get started with Tableau and then create our first visualization. We will look about the Tableau certification options that is available. And then we will look into the next steps. Okay, so this is going to be our flow of the session. So housekeeping, things that would be done. Topic discussion would be our first, which is more in terms of the concepts. We will first try to understand the concepts in the first half of the session. And then we will do practical session where we try to understand like what exactly is good about Tableau practically. Okay. And then we will have 2-minute query time at regular intervals, wherein like given the number of participants, it's not feasible for us to like have a face-to-face audio chat. It's not that I'm against it, but it's the constraint. So what I would request you guys to do is in the 2 minutes query session, whatever questions you guys have, you can drop it into the chat window. And I will try my best to like understand if anything that I can solve the question at that point itself. Else, like I will probably give the contact of Divya so that you can reach out to her and she will reroute the questions to me. Okay. So that is what it is. And give me 1 second. I'm just trying to make sure like you guys don't have any questions for now. Right. All good. Okay. So what we are going to do before the session starts is we looked into the housekeeping things, topic discussion, practical session, 2 minutes query graph, and we will have 10 minutes break in the first half of the session. So after the first half, we will have a 1-minute break and then 10-minute break, and then the links for all the resources that we would be using in this session would be shared in the chats. So that would be done. And then what we are going to do now is before we dive into the session, I'm going to just walk you guys through a visual activity just to get ourselves started, because like I know there were some issues, and I think like some of you guys would have been frustrated by now because like it's a Sunday morning, very precious time, and technical glitches are not something you guys would appreciate at this point of time. So let's have a visual activity just to get ourselves started. So what I'm going to show you guys is I'm going to show you 2 columns. One column would have countries, and the second column will have uh, coronavirus deaths for against these countries. Again, this is data that has been taken a while ago, so it won't be the updated one. But what I want you guys to understand is I wanted to look at the way data is represented, and I want you guys to identify the top 3 countries and the bottom 3 countries in say 3-4 seconds, right? I will tell you why we are doing this. Okay, now let's go through it. So this is an activity for finding the find top and bottom countries. So let's take this and let's take some time, try to understand like can you identify the top and the bottom countries in this way of representation? 3, 2, 1, 4. So even if you take good amount of time, right, it's hard to identify the top and the bottom 3 in just a glitz. Let's make it disappear, and let me show you a different way of representing data. Right now, can we identify the top and the bottom 3 if we take 4 to 5 seconds? Well, it's better than what we saw in the previous case, but then is it that easy? But let me show you another form of visualization, right? So let's see, can we identify the top 3 and the bottom 3 here? It's pretty simple, right? it doesn't even take 3 seconds. We just see it and we would be able to know like what is the top three countries, which is United States, Brazil, and United Kingdom, which is a long way back, and then South Africa, Bangladesh, and Saudi Arabia. So this is the reason I'm showing you this is, say you are working on Excel or you're creating a dashboard, be it Excel, be it PowerPoint, be it any kind of visualization tool, be it Tableau also, right? What is very important is your user or the business stakeholder who's just coming to see your dashboard. Do you think he's going to spend a lot of time understanding the numbers, especially when you're reporting to mid-level management and top-level management? They won't do it, right? So all they spend on a particular dashboard is basically 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes. And in that 1 to 2 minutes, what amount of attention do you think those guys will have for each view, right? For each view, typically, it should make sense for them within 4 to 5 seconds, right? So that is when your dashboard is going to be attractive, and at the same time, that is when your dashboard is going to convey a context that you wanted to convey, right? So that is basically the importance of data visualization. Irrespective of the tool you are using, data visualization's competence and importance comes in this way. Let's look into the introduction of business intelligence now. Okay, so I'm going to start asking a basic question about what is business intelligence, and I'm going to give you a very simple example. I know people who have been in the business intelligence domain in this call probably think like I'm just, it's just very a silly example, but then the reason I've taken this basic example is to help out guys who are starting as a fresh person in this domain, who are like really new to business intelligence, and then who wanted to get a hang of it. So what is business intelligence? So business intelligence is basically a set of processes that helps data available to the user the way it needs to be. The very relevant example is a supermarket, right? So let's say we walk into a supermarket and we are looking to get some items, right? And in a typical supermarket, there would be sales representatives who can help you. But in a typical supermarket, the purpose of it is like we go into it and there are indicators, there are like this labels and hangouts that says like what types of items are available in this lane, what type of items are available in this lane, and so on, right? And when we go there, we are, let's say we wanted to get some cheese cubes, right? So there is clear indications of where you can find it. And when you go near it, not only cheese cubes is available, but then all the other dairy products which you could be interested is also available in the same site, right? So that is exactly how a business intelligence should work. So let's say there is a sales manager who wants to analyze his salesperson's performance along with his salary. Basically, what he wants to understand is if a salesperson is getting high salary, is he bringing more revenue into the company or not? Let's say he wanted to do this analysis. When he is trying to do this analysis, there is a lot of data that is required. He needs HR data, he needs sales data, he needs finance data. So there are three departments involved in it. In a typical scenario where business intelligence is not there, what would happen? He will have to go to each and every department, ask an MIS or a person who's responsible for data in the team, get the data manually and clean it, and then consolidate everything together, right? But in a business intelligence scenario, just like a supermarket, a person should be able to know or clearly indicated where he can get the data, how he can access it, what are other relevant data that he can use, and what it needs to be there and how reliable it is, right? So that is exactly how your supermarket compares with the business intelligence. But let's understand the proper context of it in technical terms, right? Business intelligence is a set of processes, architectures, and technologies The reason I say so is, imagine you get data that is dumped from different data sources. After this data is collected, you need IT systems, you need technologies, you need databases. So all these things are architectures and technology. So you need a combination of all these things to a business intelligence to work efficiently. Okay, and the purpose of doing all these things is to basically make sense of the raw data, right? So if it is huge volumes of data that is deposited in your databases, we need to make the sense out of it, because that is exactly why we are collecting all these data, right? Just 1 second, guys. I see there are some raised hands. I just wanted to make sure like you guys are not able to hear me loud and clear. 1 second. I'm unable to hear the trainer voice. Is it okay, guys? Quick question. Is it everyone able to hear me properly? Yes, 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 yes. Thank you very much. I think the person who has pinged, it's probably some issue with your audio. Please check it. If it is not working, please rejoin so that it might solve the issue. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for letting me know. So let's move into the slide share mode, and then yeah, we spoke about raw data and how meaningful it needs to be. And then reliable and usable information, right? Let's say we are providing data to a user who's looking out for it. The data needs to be reliable. You cannot give a data which has a lot of issues in that, because then the reporting number would also be wrong, right? And right people at the right time. Say, let's say a sales manager wants to submit an analysis by end of today. We cannot say them for the data collection and the consolidation, it would take 2 more days, right? So business intelligence makes sure the data is available to the right people at the right time. Guys, please don't use annotation. Disable annotation for others. I'm so sorry I'm doing that, but please don't do that. Okay, so the final thing is about decision making. So business intelligence data gives you this ability to make decisions very easily. Okay, and this is a diagram which kind of shows, I know our friend's annotation has kind of like I've put a drawing on my prescriptive analytics, but then I will just try to cover what it is. So any business intelligence team goes through these phases: descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive, and prescriptive. So descriptive analytics is nothing but what happened. So think about a sales organization, uh, and someone wants to understand like what happened in the last 10 years in the sales revenue. So that is descriptive analytics, which most of us do. Diagnostic analytics, why did it happen? Let's say in the past 10 years, in 1 year, the sales is extremely low, right? If we are able to understand the root cause for it, so that is called diagnostic analytics. Predictive analytics, I know, I think like everyone should have known that, because it's a buzzword now. If we are able to predict something in the future, that is predictive. Prescriptive analytics is a little advanced. Let's say a company CEO comes and tells us, a sales manager, that okay, I know like this has been our sales performance for the past 10 years, but next year I want the sales revenue to jump to 75%. If he says that, if an algorithm or a process can tell, how can we make it happen? So that is called prescriptive analytics, which is the most advanced stage in the data analytics world. Okay, so let's see an example of how the BI system works in practice. The reason I'm bringing up this is I'm going to quickly see how I can kind of remove our friend's annotation here. Okay, I've removed it. That is fine. Okay, 1 second, guys. Okay, so the reason we are going to see this is, you guys need to understand, learning Tableau is fine, but then where Tableau sits in a BI space, right? Where does Tableau's usage lies in? So if you just look at it, this is how your BI system would look like. It will start with an user entering data into a system, right? There would be someone who's entering data into the system that needs to be captured. And then the system, from the system, data is collected in cloud, in on-premise databases, in a lot of other platforms, right? We have Hadoop platforms today, which saves large volumes of data. So data is collected in all these different platforms. And then there is a process called ETL, which is extract, transform, and load, extracting data from these data sources, transforming it to clean it and make it ready for analysis, and then loading it into the warehouse. So we will have this warehouse, and then on top of this warehouse, right, a lot of data preparation needs to be done. So that's where all these tools like Tableau, Power BI, SAP, all these tools comes into picture. That is what you see in the analyze phase. And then once things are designed, whether be it reports, scorecards, or even the chatbots, right? In the recent world, what is being happening is instead of people looking at the dashboard, there is chatbots which kinds of like asks the user to enter a question, and then someone enters it, and you would be able to see a neat graph which shows, which basically answers the question. So these are kind of the distribution methodologies that is out there. And at the end of all these things, the purpose of doing all these things is basically to make a decision, right? So the purpose of getting the data and the purpose of collecting the data is all to aid in the decision-making process. So this is how a BI system usually looks like. Okay. Now let's see what is data visualization. By now, I think it will be clear to you guys, like Tableau or any BI tool like Power BI, where exactly sits in a business architecture. Okay. Now let's see what is the importance of data visualization. Now, what is data visualization? So let's think about this. Today, the most frequent or the most famous keyword which we guys are hearing is big data, right? Wherever we go, it's big data platforms, big data technologies, Hadoop, Spark, recently Apache Beam, all the Apache products, Google products, AWS products, all products are talking about big data, right? But let's say all these platforms, what they do is they give us the flexibility to collect a large volume of data that was not possible previously, right? So, but what is the use of it? As we saw, collecting data is to aid a business decision. So if we are collecting all this big data in this big data world, how are we going to make sense of it? That is exactly where data visualization comes in. Large volumes of data requires a very well-versed data visualization to make sense of it, right? Because think about, we are searching a minute detail or a pattern in huge billions of data. How difficult that is going to be, right? So in this big data world, data visualization's importance is huge. So what is happening is, if the volume of data increases, right, and especially in the big data platforms, people need to have complicated data mining tasks that needs to be able to extract the information which you're looking for. So data mining is nothing but mining the data, mining the holistic data to get the information you're looking for. So in the big data world, data mining is a challenging task, right? So a lot of technical skill set is required. Basically programming languages, Python, R, and so and so languages which can talk to big data platforms, and then it can retrieve the information which you're looking for. But most of the companies doesn't want to do this, right? So most of the companies doesn't want to invest in technical, I wouldn't say invest in technical skill sets. Sorry, that's probably phrased out wrong. But they want their business users to basically access data without much technical skills, right? It's hard to have the combination of business and the technical in the same individual. So the business person should be concentrating on designing information, right, rather than extracting it and looking out for it. That's the purpose of data visualization. Let's see what is the benefits of it. Let's see what's the benefit of data visualization. I'm going to take you guys to a small link. I wanted to show you how effective data visualization looks like and what it is to be behind that. So this is Information is Beautiful website. I believe I need to share it again. Okay, I'm sharing it again. So I hope you guys are able to see this. Just double clicking. Yes, you guys should be able to see this. So what you're seeing here is basically from the year 2000 to 2018, what you're able to see here is data on media imposed fears. I'm sorry, media inflated fears. So this is a website called Information is Beautiful. And this is a very informative website because it gives a lot of ways about how you can visualize data effectively. What you see here is from 2000 to 2018, what are some of the fears that our world has envisioned because of media, right? I know there is, whenever there is a concern, whenever there is, for example, the COVID-19 which we are facing, whenever there is a legitimate concern like this, everyone is afraid. But then there is also the case where a lot of things is spoken on media and then the fear goes to the next level, right? So these are data about that. Let's see. You would be able to see a huge peak here, which is basically between the year 2014 and 15. So if you click on this, you'll be able to see this fear is because of Ebola epidemic out of control, right? Which is, if you will be able to see a short description here, which kinds of says like, what is the reason for this fear in media? And there would be a peak here, which is in 2000, between 2008 and 2009, which is basically the Britain prepares for 65,000 deaths from swine flu. All these are fears because of viruses. And then you would be able to see a constant pattern for all the years, right? Which is the red color. When you click on this, these are battle over violent video games heating up. So there was, whenever there was a lot of terrorist infused shooting that was happening in the US, a lot of debate was happening in terms of the video games, violent shooting video games that is very famously being used by the youngsters, and does it have any relationship to what is happening? So this is about that. And then the small greens, when you click on this is parents use religions to avoid vaccine, and there are like small things here which is like killer wasps, right? Killer bees. So basically, these are news that comes out in your newspaper or digital platforms, right? So what this graph gives is, it gives a very neat understanding about what are some of the fears. Now let's go back and see what is the use of a visualization like this. Okay, let me go back to my PPT. You guys should be able to see my PPT. And then let's see what we saw. The visualization was informative. It was kind of showing us some insights which we probably wouldn't have thought of. But what does it actually gives us as a benefit? If you just think about the benefit it provides, well, it gives the bigger picture, right? Think about the number of news you would have heard from 2000 to 2018. The overwhelming level of information that is out there will not allow you to think and look for patterns in it, right? So we read about a news, we get impacted about it, and then we forget it, right? It is hard to collect all these details and then make sense of it. So it gives that bigger picture. And then I know like it's a simple visualization, but think about the amount of effort that have been gone into in collecting all the newspapers and analyzing where the impact is, right? So, and the most important thing that it offers is pattern recognition. We are able to see a pattern in especially the video games which we saw, right? Fear induced because of video games, right? So pattern recognition is an important benefit that the data visualization provides. Now, what we will see is we have seen business intelligence, how BI tools play a part in it, and um, uh, how data visualization matters. But let's see why Tableau, right? There are a lot of visualization tools, why especially Tableau? So Tableau, like any other BI tool, it is available in a market with a lot of other tools, right? There is Tableau, there is Power BI, there is ClickSense, there is SciSense, there is TIBCO, Spotfire, Looker, Yellowfin, ThoughtSpot. All these are big brands. What you're seeing here is a concept called Magic Quadrant, which Gartner publishes. To those who are new in this, those who are hearing Gartner for the first time, Gartner is an independent consulting firm. So what this firm does is it does analysis on all the top technologies like data analytics, data science, BI tools, etc. And it gives a magic quadrant categorizing who are the leaders, who are the challengers, who are the players, visionaries, etc. Right? So if you look at it, you would be able to see Tableau and Microsoft at the top, right? So that is specifically the reason why Tableau is becoming very famous. Tableau and Microsoft are two top players in this vertical, and especially Tableau. While Microsoft is catching up, Tableau has been in this leaders for quite a long time. Okay, so that is the reason why we are going towards Tableau. Now, from a company perspective, how is Tableau beneficial? Well, Tableau is scalable, be it a small team or a big team. It has scalable. It has the scalable properties that enables the users, enables the organizations to adopt it, and it can handle large volumes of data. And its execution speed is very less. It has a lot of abilities and features which we will be seeing in the next practical sessions. And it is evolving, and the growth rate is really high. So that is from a company's perspective. From our perspective, from the analyst perspective, how does Tableau work? From an analyst perspective, Tableau gives you a lot of career opportunities. I know, like, you guys would have done enough research before you have entered yourself for a workshop. But then, to every job you apply, you would have seen Tableau's requirement at some point. There are roles that requires Tableau skills alone, and there are a lot of roles that requires Tableau skills also, right? So a lot of these career opportunities has been established because of Tableau's growth. And then the learning curve. So Tableau basically has two different learning curves. The first learning curve is for someone to use it. For someone to use it and to create a basic visualization, Tableau has a very, very short learning curve. The learning curve is not complicated, but a person who wants to get expertise in it, who wants to master the tool, who wants to create visualization that is covers all the complexities of any data visualization, for them the learning curve is not very difficult, but at the same time it's not as easy as just learning the basics of it. Okay, and then Tableau has a very active community. When I say active community, the developments that is happening in Tableau, and then if there is any questions you have in the Tableau's technical functionality, and if you want to get it resolved, there is always an active community to get information out of it. And then it is also fun to work, meaning think about what you used to do, the number of manual activities before creating one chart. But Tableau basically helps you start applying what you're thinking rather than preparing things to apply what you think. Okay, so that is the reason why Tableau is famous. And then the demand for Tableau skills. This is just a small quotation I got from internet, from a online service provider. So apart from the fact that there is an excellent demand for Tableau developers, the pay package is higher as compared to that of other profiles. A Tableau developer's salary in India is on the rise, and experienced developers are earning as much as INR 15 lakh and more annually. make no mistake, I'm not trying to tell you guys only the best case scenario. So this is something that has been given as a statement by a very famous online service provider. But what exactly it is showing is, leave away the numbers and the salary earnings and all those good stuff they are projecting, but then what basically tells us the demand that is there in Tableau, right? If someone wants to start their career in analytics or even in data science, learning Tableau becomes very important because it helps you to do the data discovery that is required in all these roles. Okay, so that's the purpose of this. So before going into the next stage, I just wanted to open a couple of minutes and look at the chats just to make sure like all your guys' questions are answered. Please drop into the chat box for any questions you have, and I will try to figure this out. Sir, may I know how much the freshers minimum salary would be? Again, as I said, this is something that's a quotation I just wanted to bring out, but don't quote me on that. See, frankly speaking, I've been on the position where I've trained, I've interviewed, and I've executed. So if you ask me for a number, I don't think so. I don't think I can give you a number, but it is decent is what I would like to say. I'm sorry, I would like to not like to bring up a number here. Is there any more tool we need to excel along with Tableau? Well, there is whatever tool you learn, right? So there is always a lot of other things that accompany it. So there is always tools, there is always things that you can add on, but then Tableau helps you in the data visualization. If you ask me, along with Tableau, you can learn SQL, which is a very good combination. You can, for very, very advanced data science enthusiast, you can learn Python, and you can do all these things, right? What certification we have to do? Is it expensive? Kalpana, we will like go through it in the certification phase while I'm trying to discuss it, so you will get a better understanding of the cost, what it requires, and all those things. Okay. Is there? Okay. I'm an associate application developer and want to make a career as a business analyst. What would be my career path, and how can I move forward? Well, there are a lot of business analyst roles. So if you are looking for data related role, then Tableau is a good suggestion. You can start with Tableau so that you can move into the business analytics career path. But then probably Nikhil, just drop me a note on probably my LinkedIn or anywhere. I will try to like address this in a more elaborate way. But that is just a gist of it. Being operation manager and I'm qualified and ICWA qualified, will it help for me for management reporting? It would definitely help, because what I've seen is a lot of finance folk take up this training. In the previous session also, like batch also, we had people from the finance domain taking up this, because it kinds of gives you to get started with your visual analytics, because in financial reporting it's very important you identify patterns, gaps that needs to be filled, and it can be done a little more faster in using a Tableau. And it also will gives you exposure. Let's say you have a team and you wanted to get Tableau started in the team, right? So it gives you understanding about how you can do that, what are some of the requirements you should be looking at. Okay, so other than data visualization, what other uses are there for Tableau? So Tableau, when I say data visualization, it is that something that Tableau specialized in, but Tableau basically gives you the capability to connect to a data source to perform data preparation on top of it, data prep, which is also a famous domain. You can do data prep, or you can call it data wrangling also. You can do clean up the data, and then you can do the analysis, and you can publicize the data, share it with others, right? So that is what Tableau offers. Currently working in a manufacturing industry, but would like to switch to IT industry. Would this be helpful? If your IT probably industry is a too generic statement. If you're looking for data side, data analytics, business analytics, then yes, it is. Which language is good for data analyst, for R or Python? It basically it's based on what you wanted to do. For example, my personal preference is Python, But even I know R as well. So, but I'm not going to influence you. But the reason Python is becoming famous is because of its recent popularity, right? Please provide our guide Tableau download link. We will go through everything. We will just download it. We will also uh, do some hands-on. Only that is like probably in this video, I will be doing it, and then I will be the recordings and all the resources would be shared, and you guys can always replicate it again. Any ETL tool suggestions? That's probably a generic question. Maybe like I need to understand for what it is. In which language Tableau is written? Tableau is a tool. So I'm sorry, but I'm really not aware like which language it has been used to write this. Probably C sharp or something, but I'm not 100% sure. So which one is the best for practice purpose, Tableau Public or Tableau Server? There is a huge differentiator, Naveen. Tableau Public and Tableau Server are two different things. I will walk you through in the next coming slides. Sir, I got trained on the Tableau last year. I'm looking for a job now. The companies are looking for experience, at least 2 years of experience, and I worked for insurance domain. So how I can search for Tableau job? That's probably, see, not all Tableau companies would be looking for experience alone. If you have the skill set and if you can get through the interview, that should be far more than enough. Apart from Tableau, what you suggest me? Can I go with Power BI? It's totally your choice. So both of these are market leaders. So it's based on a company's preference what they choose. Is SQL skills required to extract the data or data sources by default provided sources? Not necessarily, Srinivas. It's not a mandatory thing. You can use the purpose of Tableau is do everything in drag and drop. Hi sir, I've learned VBA being an analyst part, how the Tableau will help to settle in future. I'm sorry. VBA is more in terms of automation. So Tableau gives you this next level abilities to go through improve your career. Being in HR, will it help me in improving courses? Shravani, definitely yes. And the reason I'm so confidently saying is in the previous batch, I had a HR and I saw like how helpful it is for her. So SQL is required to learn Tableau? No, not mandatory. How many months would take to complete the Tableau course? This Tableau course, I think it's 5 to 6 weeks is the course that we have designed. But that gives you a very good understanding of kickstarting everything, right? So from making a career in analytics, want to have learning tools. I think we addressed that question. Okay, awesome. So I'm sorry, guys. I was able to cover everything that I can in the couple of minutes because of time constraint. But if you have any further doubts, you can reach out to Divya if it is related to Excelytics or if it is related to Tableau career-wise. You can reach out to my LinkedIn. You can drop in a message, and I would try to help you guys out. Last one is just basic to advanced Excel is enough to learn Tableau. Excel skills is not required for Tableau. We are just comparing it in this section, but it is not required. Okay. So let's move on, guys. I'm sorry that I had to I was not able to answer a few guys' questions, but please reach out to me or Divya based on the nature of your question, and we will try to resolve it. Okay. So how do I ask this coffee mug to go away? Okay, let's look at an introduction to Tableau. Most of your guys' questions would be addressed here because a lot of guys were asking about what is for Tableau Server, what is for Tableau Public, right? So this is what Tableau tells about themselves. Tableau can help anyone see and understand their data, connect to almost any database, drag and drop to create visualization and share with a click, right? So basically what they are trying to say is it is a simplified tool, right? It eradicates a lot of manual or in data what we call as dirty work, right? Making our hands dirty in data means you go into data, you do all the maintenance, you do all the corrections in data yourself, and then you perform the data visualization that is required. So basically Tableau says like you don't have to do any of those things, right? So that is exactly what Tableau tells us. So let's see what are the product suites that is available in Tableau. So these are the things: Tableau Desktop, Tableau Server, Tableau Online, Tableau Prep, and Tableau Public. Let's go through each of them. Tableau Desktop. right? Let me see if I can find a highlighter so that you guys are able to see better. Okay, so Tableau Desktop. So Tableau Desktop is the tool that you guys would be installing in your desktop, in your personal system, to perform data visualization. Tableau Desktop has two different versions. One is enterprise version and the other is public version. Enterprise version is nothing but a professional version, which has a pricing against it. And public version is nothing but a free version, which has some limitations, but it helps you to learn Tableau. Okay, and then Tableau Server. So once you download Tableau Desktop and once you're able to perform some analytics in Tableau Desktop, you create a visualization, then you need to share that visualization, right? After creating it in your desktop, you want to put it into a platform where it can be used by other users. So that platform is called Tableau Server. Okay, Tableau Server is a platform where you can share your developed visualization in desktop to other users. Again, Tableau Server has two different variants, which is enterprise and public. Enterprise is a professional version, which has a pricing against it, and then it is used by organizations. There is also a public version where you can publish your data visualization which you have created for learning purpose. But whatever is public is not something you can restrict. Anyone would be able to see it. Okay, and then Tableau Online. The difference, Tableau Online and Tableau Server are basically same in functionality, but the major difference is the way it is implemented. In Tableau Server, just like any on-premise databases you guys have, Tableau Server is something that your company maintains, right? The server on which Tableau Server runs would be maintained by your company. But in Tableau Online, everything is on Tableau side, right? Your companies do not, everything is on cloud for Tableau Online. So your company doesn't like have an infrastructure for it. All your company would have done is it would have subscribed for a Tableau Online account, and then they just use everything that is available on Tableau, right? So that is the only difference between Tableau Server and Online. Tableau Prep is Tableau's initiative in the data preparation industry. So Tableau Prep is a data preparation tool which Tableau has come up newly. It is still evolving. So Tableau Prep gives a lot of abilities in terms of cleaning the data in a visual way. Like when I know, like Informatica and a lot of other tools requires you to do a lot of coding, at least some part of coding, and then it also has the drag and drop facilities. But then the focus of Tableau Prep is it gives you the ability to do everything based on drags and drops, right? If any of you guys have used Alteryx, or if you have heard about Alteryx, it is similar to how Alteryx used to do it. Okay, and Tableau Public. Tableau Public, as I said, is the free version of Tableau Desktop that is available, and that is what we are going to use in today's session also. So uh, it is a free version, but there are some limitations to it, which is nothing but you cannot save the files locally, which is, let's say we create a Tableau Tableau visualization, you won't be able to save it in your desktop. You will have to publish it into the public server, right? And then the source connections that Tableau Public offers is very, very limited because, as I said, it is just a tool for us to learn, right? It is not a professional version. And then it has row limits also in terms of how many rows we can access. Okay, but not something you guys would realize because it's really large, but then it's something that you need to keep in mind. Okay, now let's understand a small activity. Let's do a small activity to understand Excel versus Tableau. What we are going to see is basically a practical example. Okay, so I'm going to do this in this session, but once you get the resource, you guys also can try to replicate what we are doing. I'm sure the recording also would be shared to you guys. I'm just doing it in this case because I didn't want to like um, we won't be able to cover the entire thing in 3 hours. if we do it parallelly. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to download population data from World Bank website. I'm going to clean the data, change the structure of the data, perform aggregations and calculations. I'm going to first do it in Excel, and then I'm going to show you guys how it works in Tableau. Okay. Now, before I do this, I've already downloaded this data, but I wanted to show you guys like what you would be seeing. So once you click on this, okay, once you click on this, you would be able to see this page, and then when you scroll down, you will see a download button. You can download it in Excel by clicking on this, right? So that is how you would be downloading the data. So I have already downloaded the data, so I'm just going to open it and show it to you guys. Okay, so let me show, just give me a second. So let me share my screen. Sorry guys, every time I will need to switch the application in Zoom to share my each and every screen that's opening. That's the reason it's taking some time. Please bear with me. So when you download a data from there, this is how it will look. It will have a tab with metadata indicators. It will have metadata countries, and it will have data. Okay. So if you look at this, any government data which you guys get, right, will be mostly in this format, where you will have all the years that is there represented as columns, right? This is easy for us to look at, but then think about this. If you just wanted to create a pivot on top of it, right, what you will do is you need to like take off these headers first, because for the pivot, the first row should have the headers, right? Or we will have to specifically select it, which I'm not going to do. I'm just going to clean this sheet to make sure the first row represents the header, right? So first we will need to remove this. This is just a cleaning activity which I'm doing, right? So now data is available in this way, but for if you just think about what would be the requirement for you guys to pivot the data, slice and dice the data using pivot table, you would require a year column that has all these years, and you will require a population column that has all these population. So basically, instead of year represented in columns like this, I would like to have a column year which has 1960, 1961, everything that is repeated for all the countries and their respective population, right? So this is called, this is how you need to like structure the data, right? So let's say how I do it in Excel, right? How will I be able to do it? There is a transpose option, but then what the transpose option does is basically when you select it and paste it, it will transpose or make the columns into rows and rows into columns. But that is not what we wanted, right? What we wanted is we wanted this particular thing to stay as such, but we want year column 1960 to 2019 repeated for each and every country with their respective population, right? So that is what we wanted to do. So let's see how to do it in Excel. So in Excel, for making that happen, I will need to use the Power Query, right? There is no straightforward way where I can do it. I can do it manually, where I can copy these things, paste it, and then copy 2016 data and then paste it. That's going to be manual because there are a lot of years, right? So let's see how we can do this. So what I'm going to first do is I'm just going to make this as a table first, right? I'm going to insert. I'm just clicking on table, everything is selected, and I give OK. So now the entire data is converted into a table. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to data, and from table/range. I'm going to click on this, and you will be able to see a Power Query window that comes up. I hope it is there. You guys are able to see it. Oh no, I have to share it separately. 1 second. Okay. Once I do that, you guys would be able to see a Power Query window that opens. So in this, if you just relate this, right, this is basically the data manipulation for Power BI also. Power BI also uses Power Query for all its data manipulation activities. So how I'm going to do it here is, I'm just going to select everything, right? And I'm deselecting, 1 second, I'm going to select everything. Pressing Control, I'm just deselecting these columns because I don't want any changes to be done on top of these columns, just because they are in the right place. So I'm just going to select all the years that we need to change, right? And then I right click, and then I say unpivot columns. So when I do this, you'll be able to see for each country, like we wanted, the year is repeating along with its respective population, right? Let's just rename it. Let's say year, right? And then double click and rename it saying population. Okay, that's it. Done. I'm going to close and load. Okay, sorry, I will have to share it again. So when you close and load it, you would be able to see the data that we changed reflecting in your Excel. Now let's say we wanted to create some aggregations and calculations on top of it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a pivot table, right? Select everything, press OK. There we get a pivot table. And let's say I want to look at the population of country for the latest year. So I drag in year into the filter. I drag in the country name into rows. I drag in the population into values. Now these are sum of population, which doesn't make sense. So I'm going to select, filter it for 2019. I'm giving OK. Now this is good. So this is the data that we are getting for 2019, and these are the populations for all the countries. So let's say I just wanted to format it in a nice readable way. And then let's say we wanted to calculate percentage of total. Basically, I wanted to see what is a percentage of population against the total. This is the total. I wanted to see percentage of Afghanistan's population against the total population of the world. So what I will do, I will insert a formula, this divided by grand total, right? And then I will change it into a percentage. I will just make this stagnant, right? Let's put some decimals to it, 0.05, right? So this is our number. Okay, so this is how a calculation works, right? So think about it. On top of this, if you wanted to create visualizations in Excel, you will have to manipulate the data accordingly, and then you will have to create graphs for each of those manipulations, right? One thing. And the other thing is, let's say next year a new set of data comes in. What you will do, you will have to again extract it in Excel. You will probably can copy paste it in this sheet with where data is there, and then you will again need to manipulate it. You will again need to refresh it. You will need to refresh the pivot. This formula, when you refresh the pivot, the range would go up and down. You will have to change it, but that is not the big deal, right? You can also create a calculated field in your pivot which will address them. But the gist of it is, think about the way Excel is conceiving data. In Excel, for you to do an analysis, you need to have a very clear picture about what to be done before you start putting in your thought process, right? So now I'm going to do the same thing in Tableau, and let's see how we can do it in Tableau, right? So let me Okay. How I'm going to share this? Okay. Let me first open my Tableau Public and I will share you my screen. So I'm closing my Excel. Don't say I don't want this. Okay. Let me share my Tableau. So when you open your Tableau desktop, this is how it looks. In the next session, which is probably after the break, we will go step by step in downloading Tableau, building visualization hands-on. But the purpose of this exercise is just to show you guys the difference. Let's say I want to connect the same data from Tableau. Okay, I'm going to Excel. I'm selecting the working XLS which we use. I'm double clicking on this. Right now, this is the once I double click, you would be able to see the connection sheets and all. So this is the sheet which we used. So I'm just double clicking on this and you would be able to see the data that we saw, right? So again, the same problem, right? So you're able to see data source, word development, or all these things, which is not required. If you look at the header, it just says F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, which is not what we wanted. And the country name is present at the third row, which is also not what we wanted because the country name, country code should be our header name, right? And then the other thing which you will also notice is all these things are as messed up as we have in Excel, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this use data interpreter here. Data interpreter might be able to clean your Microsoft Excel workbook. That's what it says. So let's see how it works. So I click on the data interpreter. Now what you're able to see is all the changes, all the manual things which you did in Excel is something that is automatically being taken care in Tableau. Again, it is a system. Tableau is an intelligent system which is able to identify the columns or rows that is not something that is appropriate, but then it is not something which you can always trust 100%, right? It helps you in getting through the initial hurdles, but then you always need to understand that this is at the end of the day, it's a system. Okay, now this problem is resolved for this. And when you click the review result, let me show you how it looks. You will see an Excel gets downloaded. Probably it is not showed in the screen share. Let me quickly shift to it. So you will be able to see an Excel like this. This Excel, what it does is it basically gives you a summary of all the cleaning that Tableau has done. If you go to the data, you will be able to see different colors, right? If you just go here, Tableau has said it has taken this row as a header, and it has said it has taken these rows as data, which is what we wanted, and it has said it has removed the data till this point, which is basically these two things, right? So you would be able to get a report like this to understand what are some of the activities that Tableau did as part of its cleaning. Okay, now let me go back to my Tableau screen. Now we wanted to change the data in the way like what we did in Excel, correct? So what I'm going to do in Tableau is just select everything, unselect the columns which doesn't require any activity, right click, pivot. That's it. Now you can just rename it here, and then you can give population. That's it. Now it is done. Now creating visualization is just few clicks away from here. Let me show you. I'm going into the sheet. We will look into all these icons in detail in the second half of the session, where we will get Tableau installed and get started from the beginning. But I just wanted to show you guys what's the capability that it is in store.
So now let's say I wanted to know country-wise numbers. All I can do is I can click on country name. You would be able to see a map opening, and then I can click on population. Okay, it shows the population volume. I can just very well change this a bit, put it into colors. Now what you're seeing is, you're basically seeing the lighter color is less population and darker color is more population. I can just change the color here. I can probably make it green, right? And this is total number of population, right? Because it's full year. So I'm just going to filter it for 2019, right? And then I can also create different visualizations. Let's say I can bring in country name. I can double click on population. All I will do is just go here, show me bar graph, right? I can reverse this bar graph in just one click, and then I can also sort it in one click, right? And then I can change it into entire view. You would be able to see everything that is out here. I can also look at top 10. I can click on this. I can filter. I can say top. I can say by field, top 10 population. Now these are only the top 10 as per the entry that we have. I know there is something called world, which is probably a wrong representation in the data, but that's not the purpose of this, right? So what we are able to see is a very good understanding of how you can manipulate with the data. And these are just a couple of clicks away. Okay. Now, this is the purpose of this is just to bring your get you the idea of what's the difference between these two tools, so that you can relate it in a much better way when we are talking about the concepts. Okay. Now let's go back to our PPT. Okay. Now we did all these activities, and then we were able to see what's the basic difference between Excel and Tableau. Okay. Now let's look into the concepts. Just recollect how we did it in Excel. When we did it in Excel, the data discovery part, where we are trying to understand or discover patterns in data, for that to happen, the idea should already exist. You should have a very clear understanding about what exactly you wanted to do about it, right? And you need to shape the data in that particular way. And about the flexibility, right? The flexibility, please don't mistake that we are trying to make Tableau superior to Excel. Excel is, as you know, guys, Excel is a wonderful tool, but with the recent technological evolution and what is the recent asks in the recent world, Excel has certain level of capabilities and Tableau has certain level of capabilities. There is always a space for Excel in organizations that no other tool can replace. But there are also places where tools like Tableau comes into picture where Excel cannot scale up. So the purpose of this exercise is to identify those areas for you guys. Okay. So with respect to data discovery, you would have seen what are some of the things that we saw in Excel. And then automation. In Excel, when you're trying to automate tasks, you can do it with manual programming, which is nothing but entering your formulas into your Excel cells and then linking it to the other sheets and making it automated one way. The other way is VBA macros, which is also a good way of automating things, but it is complex, one, and it needs maintenance, right? And then visualization. For in Excel to create visualization, you need to manipulate the data at cell level, right? When you wanted to create a bar graph, you wanted to make a manipulation to the data in cell level to make that bar graph to appear in the way you want, correct? So that is one other thing which we saw in Excel. In Tableau, what we have seen is the data discovery starts from the initial phase itself, right? So there are a lot of inbuilt features for us to drill down that the data discovery is something that can proceed without an initial idea. We can just get the data and start developing something, so just to know what is the pattern in it, right? And then automation. Tableau has a very intuitive, creative process, and then the way it is designed itself is aligned to way it is automated. Meaning, when you collect to a data source and when you bring the data into Tableau, whenever there is a change that is happening in the data source, you can set it in such a way that the changes automatically appears in the dashboard. The process of recreating it, or even in Excel, you can connect the data to the ODBC connections, right? So that the data connection is there. But then how scalable it is and how feasible it is when it is compared to Tableau, that's the point. Okay, and then visualization. In Tableau, once we got the data ready, the visualization started instantly, right? There is nothing more we need to do on top of it. The reason we are seeing this example is, in most of the organizations which you are working on, or in the organizations where you would be working in the future, there is always a lot of activity that is happening in transforming Excel reports into Tableau. Let's say a team is working on Excel reporting. It uses a lot of Excel to collect data, do management reporting. There is always a transition that is very recently happening from Excel to Tableau. So that is the reason we are seeing this, because it's very important for you guys to understand what exactly it does, what exactly Excel does, what exactly Tableau does, how they complement each other, or what are the differentiator. So that's the purpose of this practical session, and I hope like it would have given you guys a decent idea of it. Okay, now we will have a couple of minutes question time and a 10 minutes break. Before that, I would like to show you guys what we would be doing after this. After this, we would be installing Tableau and we would be creating our first visualization. I would just quickly wanted to show you guys what visualization we would be creating. Okay, give me 1 second. I will just pull up the visualization. We will just briefly see what it is, and then you guys can take we will have questions. You guys can take a break for 10 minutes, and then we will come back and start working on that. Okay, 1 second, guys. 1 second. Hold on. I'm sharing my screen to show you guys the visualization. So this is the dashboard, which let me show you in full screen. So this is the dashboard which you guys would be, which we would be developing in the second half of the session. So if you look at this, this is a sales dashboard that we would be developing, and this is an action-based dashboard. When I say action-based dashboard, let's say I click on technology, everything will change as per technology. Other filters, I know like Tableau Public is something that is recently is very slow, but then the phase at which the data changes will be like much faster in an actual scenario. And then you can click on countries. India, it will show you the data for India. Russia, the data would be changed for Russia. So this is something which we will be developing in the second half of the session. So please don't miss it. And then I also wanted, this is something which we will be doing hands-on, and I also wanted to show you guys an advanced version of it. This is an animated same dashboard with advanced and animated graphs, right? You would be able to see the difference here. But the purpose, the speciality of this chart is, I know this is blurred out, but then let's say play forward. Okay, okay. Yeah, it is slow, but then you would be able to see what it does. It basically changes the data for all the year quarters. It is not visible here, but it changes for 2012 Q1, Q2, Q3, 2013 Q1, Q2, Q3. So the purpose of this kind of motion charts is to basically help the users understand how data is changing over a period of year. Okay, so this is an advanced chart which which requires you to understand the advanced concepts. But then the purpose of this is to show you guys what is feasible in Tableau and how interactive it is, and then also to give you a base about how you can create certain visualizations in Tableau. So let's do a couple of minutes question session. Please drop in your questions in the chat window, and then let's take a 10 minutes break and come back, and we will do the hands-on dashboard generation which we just saw. Okay, I'm opening out in the chat window. Please drop in your questions. 2 minutes, guys. Then probably we will have a break for 10 minutes. Meanwhile, I will just put the coffee break. Okay, chats. Can we download in our laptops the software? Yes, you can. So we will be seeing into the details of how we can do that. What's the link you should be referring to, everything. Could you please drop in the link for the Tableau? Please share the link. Okay, if you guys, okay, I had it as in the other session, but then let me drop it for everyone now itself. Again, like I would be walking you guys on what you need to do before downloading and everything, but if someone is really wanted to download it right now, you can do that by using that link. Is Power BI related to Tableau? Both are competitors, Abhishek. So Power BI and Tableau both are competitors. Will you provide the link for download? I will walk you through, guys, on everything. What needs to be downloaded, what's the link and everything. I'm in MIS field right now. Is it help for me? Actually, it helps a lot for you. Can Tableau be integrated with other enterprise software? Tableau gives a wide variety of connections. It can connect to anything and everything your organization has. From the business point of view, what are the uses of data visualization? As I said, right, so we are talking about volumes of data, and if you just see the data in a flat file in Excel, right, no user would be able to identify the pattern in it. So that's exactly where data visualization comes into picture, Sachin. What is SSRS? SSRS is more like a reporting services. It is SSIS is integration services and SSRS is reporting services, which basically helps you go through this ETL phase, right? So that's completely on the IT side. So please send the recording session. I missed the first. No problem, Nancy. So Divya here would be sending across the recordings. Which software is in more demand, BI or Tableau? BI is not a software, man. BI is a domain. Business intelligence is a team your organization would have. Okay, so Tableau is a tool. Can you send the details where there is a free session on machine learning? Okay, probably like ping me, get in touch with my in LinkedIn. I will try to like direct you to some good courses. Okay. Can Tableau be used for workforce analytics? Tableau can be used for any types of analytics, any data analytics, anything you have as a data, even your credit card, you can just take and see like what are the major expenses you are doing. So power monitoring can be visualized in this form. Power monitoring, unless and until you have a data to visualize, you can do it in any way. Can you send PPT and recording of the session? Yeah, Divya would be sending it across, Sakshi. Nancy, is this help in business analyst? Yes, Nancy, it helps in business analyst, but business analyst has a lot of roles. I'm not sure like which role you are in. So if you need like, if you give me further details, probably just reach out to me in LinkedIn with your questions and I will try to address it. Can we download Tableau visualization sheet in Excel as it is? No, you can't. Tableau has its own platform. Can we transform Tableau to XML? So Tableau has its own distribution platform, right? So I don't think that is something that you can do. Okay. In the docs form, there were many sessions. Can you inform us via email about each of them? Abhishek Sharma, can you just drop that note to everyone, because Divya would be handling that. Divya, can you please look into Abhishek Sharma's question? He is asking, in the docs form, there were many sessions. Can you inform us via mail about each of them? Okay. Is it non-technical profile to start your career with Tableau? Mm, yes and no. Tableau requires certain level of expertise, but I wouldn't say it is very technical. But then Tableau also gives you the base to go into the technical domain. So it's totally up to you, but it is useful for both. What are the limitations of Tableau? See, Tableau limitation is something that probably requires more time for me to explain. But then if it is like a curious thing which you wanted to know, like probably just Google it, Suresh. I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to address it at this time. But then I would ask you to research it. What are prerequisites for becoming a Tableau developer? There is no prerequisites unless and until you have worked on Tableau, and if you have used Excel, if you have used data, then you know like what the basics of it, right? So it's a little glorified way of doing things. Data warehousing skills is necessary for DA. Yes and no, based on the role where your company is asking for. Okay, share your LinkedIn ID, please. Okay, I'm just going to put in the contacts details again for those who have joined newly. So this is my contact details. If you have any questions related to Tableau and career concepts and all those things, please get in touch. If you have any questions related to the courses, get in touch with Divya, please. Or are there any data limitation size while loading data into Tableau? Rupali, it is nothing. As I said, for public, since it's a free version, there is. But then in the enterprise version, Tableau would be able to handle huge volumes of data. Can we get to know about your future session whenever they are organizing via email? Sakshi, please get in touch with Divya because Excelytics, because she would be the better person to answer that. Guys, let's take like one more minute and let's close the questioning hour because like it will impact our next practical sessions. Tableau is a containing database for storing the data like SQL. No man. So Ganesh, Tableau works more like you talk to an SQL server and just get the data. It just reads the data. That's all it does and creates visualization. It doesn't store the data anywhere in the docs form. Okay, awesome. So everything is done. So guys, let's take a 10 minutes break and let's meet back. Time is 10:43 now. Let's meet back at 10:53. Please be here by 10:53 because like we have a lot to cover and we had some initial delay in the beginning. Okay, please be back at 10:53. Thank you. Hey guys, I know like there is 3 more minutes. So meanwhile, if there is any questions which probably I was not able to answer previously, please drop into the chat window so that we will discuss that till everyone joins. Okay. Sajal, hi Sajal. Go ahead with your question, please. I'm sorry I'm not able to have one-on-one conversations because of the number of participants. But then if something that is a little personal and you wanted to ask that question, you can probably reach out me to LinkedIn. Okay. How much time is required to get a complete hands-on on Tableau? Sajal, so the answer to that question is a combination of things. First is learning Tableau from in terms of like what the tool offers you, and the second is how you approach a certain problem. So in terms of learning Tableau skill sets, I think the course which I would be walking through the details at the end would give you a very good understanding of the skills that Tableau has. But in terms of like how you approach a problem, I think it's based on your experience solving Tableau problems. So once you learn it, and once you take up some work that needs to be done on Tableau, you would like get the complete hands-on. Is Excel is a good platform to start a career nowadays? Nancy, good question. Frankly speaking, Excel is a good platform, but only Excel is not going to cut it off in these times. Let's say Excel Tableau combination, or if you are a fan of Microsoft Tableau Power BI combination, that would be a good start. Okay. Don't stop with Excel is what I wanted to let you know. If it is related to data, then SQL, Tableau, Excel. These three would be the good combinations. And then if you're looking for a job right now, if you're looking to build your career, Tableau and SQL would be a very good choice. Same question I was about to ask about the time. Time is based, like I said, learning the tool is something which you can do in a set time frame. But then if you want to completely understand what it has to offer, it is based on the amount of experience you get to work on Tableau. So that is kind of relative to each other. Okay. Hi Shankar, I'm an ESG data researcher. Could you suggest what course I help to build careers? Data researcher, when you say it is, if it is related to visualization, then the BI tools like what we saw, Tableau, Power BI, ThoughtSpot. If it is related to data science analytics, then Python, statistical concepts, and all those things. So probably like you can elaborate it, connect with me, and I will let you know. Because I'm from MIS experience, but then Nancy, okay, MIS experience. So if your MIS activity is totally on Excel, then presently the number of opportunities, I'm not really sure. But then if you want to boost it, I think Tableau is a good idea. And SQL. So these days in any data analytics, the majority of employers ask for proficiency in multiple tools learning. Only one tool doesn't solve the purpose. That's true, right? So when you talk about multiple tools, sticking to Excel or sticking to only one tool is not going to help. Excel, SQL, Tableau, some data warehousing skills, or at least the exposure is what they're looking for. Can we get recorded sessions? Isha, yes, recording sessions will be sent out to you. Divya, who's here on the call in Excelytics, she would be taking care of it. Okay, now let's get started with the session. I know we have passed the 10 minutes break. So let's move on. So what we are going to see next is we are going to get started with Tableau. So first we will look into how you would be setting up your desktop. Okay, this is the Tableau download link. Let me change it to a normal view. So let's say, okay, first of all, you guys are able to see my screen, right? I'm sharing mine, right? Okay, yeah, awesome. So when I click on this, Tableau public link, I know I sent across this link previously, but let me send it again in the chat window so that you guys are able to get hands on it. So this is the Tableau public download link, guys. So this is where we would be downloading the dashboard and installing it. So in this session, I will not be going through the installation steps because it takes some time to download, it takes some time to install. So what I'm going to say is the steps that is required for you to set up and install. It's a straightforward thing. And then I'm going to start showing you guys how visualization can be done in Tableau, and I'm going to explain about Tableau a bit so that you get a hang of it. And recordings will be sent across. All the resources which you guys are seeing, that also will be communicated to you guys. So anyone who wants to like follow this back at a later point of time, please do that. The data set which we would be using in this particular session is the global superstore data. For few people in the Tableau tool itself, it would be automatically there, but for those who don't have that, you should be downloading the data from this site link. Okay, so I've given both the things. So let me show you. Once I click on this link, once you guys click on this link, I will again need to share you to show the website. So this is the website that would be opening. Okay, so all you need to do is enter your email ID here, right? And then download the app. So when you click download the app, you would be able to see all the data. You'll be able to see the download that has started here. Okay, and then installation is as simple as just going through the steps that it is asking you to do. So just get it installed. One other thing I want you guys to do is, if you look at this, there is a sign up button here, right? So once you create a dashboard in your Tableau public, as I said, you won't be able to store it in your local desktop. You will have to store it online, and everyone else would be able to see it. For you to have that flexibility to save online, you should sign up for Tableau Public. So sign up here and then enter your name, email, password, and confirm, and click create my profile. Right? You will have to do both these things for you to develop a visualization and post it into the public server. So enter your email ID here, download the Tableau Desktop app, and then sign up here and create a Tableau profile for you guys. Okay, so do both these things and you should be good with getting started with Tableau. Okay, let me quickly go back to the presentation to show you what is next. So once the installation is done, even if you already have a Tableau installed in your desktop, don't worry about it. There is like multiple versions can be there on one single system. Tableau doesn't like contradict with each other. So you can have that. Let's say you have an enterprise version of Tableau, you can still download and use the Tableau public. Right, and then create a public profile by signing up. That's what we saw. Sign up and create a profile for yourself and download this global superstore data from the following link. So this is the data that we would be using in our demo today. So guys who wanted to look at the recording and replicate this in your system, please download it from this link. Okay, now let's create our first visualization. Okay, so let me do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my Tableau screen for you guys. Okay. one second, guys. Let me open a fresh one so that you guys get a better idea. Let me share my screen. Tableau Public. You guys should be able to see my screen. You are sharing your screen. I'm just double clicking. I'm just double checking. Okay. Now, I'm sorry. So now we are going to connect to the data source which we have downloaded. So you would have downloaded the data in the form of Excel. So whenever you open your Tableau screen, this is how it looks. If you just take a look at it, here is where all the recent dashboards which you have created would be populating. Okay, and then you would be able to see an option called connect here, and below this connect you would be able to see to a file and to a server. To a file are basically the local file systems, which is Excel, text file, JSON, Access, PDF, spatial, statistical data. And to a server basically means all the on-premise server like SQL servers, Salesforce, Snowflake, all the other things. So right now, right, what you're using is a public version where your number of connections is restricted. So when you click on this, you will be able to see only Google Sheets and Web Data Connector. But in actual professional version, you would be able to see a whole range of connections based on the cloud platforms, on-premise database, anything and everything you wanted to connect would be available here. Okay. For now, this version is just to learn Tableau so that we are restricted to the number of connections we can make. Okay. Now, for our demo, what we needed is to connect to an Excel file. So let me say connect to Excel. A dialog box will open and you can just navigate into your path where you have downloaded the data. In my case, it is here, Global Superstore. Just double clicking on that, and then you should be able to see a screen like this. If you look at the screen, this is the screen where data gets populated. If you look at the left top corner, you'll be able to see connections, right? In my case, it's a Microsoft Excel which is mentioned, and then you would be able to see the name of the workbook, right? If you wanted to add multiple connections, you can do so by just clicking on this add button. So when you click on add, you would be able to add another connection, okay, which we are not going to do in this demo. So then you'll see you're having this use data interpreter, which is something which saw in the previous hands-on which we did. And then you are able to see all the sheets that is listed out. See, these are sheets in the Excel workbook. So the sheets which I wanted to use is orders. So if you hover over it, you will be able to see view data option here. If you just click on this, you would be able to see a preview of the data. So this is the data, and 10,000 rows. It is just showing a sample of 10,000 rows, and I can change it here saying show me 20,000. Okay, so this is a sample of it. So I'm going to close it. I'm going to double click on this, and once I double click, you would be able to see the orders is populated here, right? So this is a space in Tableau where you can do joins, you can do relationships, and all other ways of combining, joining, making unions between different tables. So in this demo class, we are just going to look at one table and understand how you can develop visualizations in this. But in a more advanced sessions, what you would be seeing is how you can, let's say you have some details in orders, you have some details in returns, and you want to bring those details together. If you want to join it, if you want to create relationship, if you want to combine using a union, how to do this in this space. So that is something which we will be seeing in the future sessions. So you would also be able to see filters here. These are basically data filters which helps you restrict the data. Okay. And then what you see here is a neat preview of the data. So if you look deeper into it, you are able to see the preview view that is selected here, which is the data source view. You can switch between the views to look at the data or just to look at the column and its metadata. Okay, in this case, it's better to look at the data. And then when you look at the data, you would be able to see each column has a column name, which is the header, and that respective table name, which is the orders, and then you would be able to see the data type here. So when you click on this, you will be able to see this data is represented as number, right? If you wanted to change it, you can very well do it by changing or selecting on some data type which is appropriate, right? In this case, I'm not going to change any of the data type because it is coming out correct for us. So I just wanted to show you guys the different data types that is available. So hash is nothing but number, right? And then ABC represents string. And what you see here, the calendar symbol is for day. And then what you see as a globe symbol, that is a geographical variable. That is basically for creating maps. Okay, so this is how the data in general looks in Tableau. Now, what you would be seeing here is all the data that is available here is ready for analysis, and any changes which you guys wanted to do can be done at this stage, right? So now the other thing which you will have to notice is right now, if you look at this, data source tab is what is selected. And these are attributes or objects that you're able to see inside data source. Now there is another tab called sheet 1. This is nothing but if you just hover over it, you will see 3 icons: new worksheet, new dashboard, new story, right? So worksheet is nothing but for you to create visualization, you need a sheet where you can develop the visuals, right? After creating those visuals in the worksheet, you can consolidate all those visuals into one single dashboard, right? Now, dashboard is nothing but a consolidation of all the sheets in which you develop visualization, right? And then there is something called new story. Story is nothing but when you create different visualization and when you wanted to write some annotation on top of it and show it in the form of a storyboard, that is how story comes into picture. Okay, now let's start with creating some basic visualizations. Let's go to sheet 1. Right now, this is how your sheet would look. All the menu options are there at the top, and there are certain shortcuts that is available in the below tab. And then there is an option for show me. When you click on that, you would be able to see everything is disabled because we haven't selected the data. But once we have selected the data, you guys will be able to see all the options that is feasible for a particular selection you make here, right? And then what you're able to see is columns, rows. These are called as shelves, right? Filters, pages are called shelves. And then marks is called cards, right? Filters is just like in the pivot table, it is used to filter out data. Columns, rows is basically to represent numbers here. And this sheet, what you call here is, what you see here is called a canvas where the visualization will be happening. Okay. Pages is again a shelf which kinds of helps you manipulate the visualization, but then that is something that is for a little advanced sessions. So this marks is nothing but once you select a data, it will help you to manipulate the visualization. Let's see it in action. Before that, I wanted to give a brief on what you see here. When you look at what is there here, you'll be able to see the data connection which is at the top. Right now it is only one data connection, so you are able to see the orders here. And then when you have multiple data source connection, you will be able to see multiple entries here. Okay, so there is a search option for you guys to search a particular field, and these are the list of fields. If you look at it, there is a small line here, right, which separates the topmost from the bottom. So what you see at the top of that line are basically called dimensions, and what you call at the bottom of it are called measures. So what is dimension and measure is a little theoretical concept, but for you guys to understand at this point, dimensions helps you to slice the data, and measures are nothing but facts. So dimensions are always categorical variables where it helps to categorize the data, and measures are always facts or numbers. Okay, let's see this in action. Let me click on country. We did a similar graph previously, so let's click on sales. So basically what I wanted to do was I wanted to look at country wise sales, right? So I wanted to understand what is my sales numbers against different countries. So notice what is happening. So when I double click on country, you would be able to see latitude and longitude is already generated here. So that is one of the benefits of Tableau. So when you have a field that is categorized as in the globe symbol, which is a geographical variable, Tableau automatically generates the latitude and longitude for that particular country, right? So now you are able to see the country that is represented here, and you would be able to see country is at the detail level in the marks, and then sum of sales is added. So if you look at this marks, it kinds of tells you, it gives you options for colors, size, label, details, and tooltips. We will look at each of these things separately, but then first let's look at this. If you see this tab, it shows automatic, right? So if you click here, you would be able to see a lot of options where you can change the view into a bar, which doesn't make sense in this particular graph, but you can still do it. Let's see what it happens, right? It doesn't make sense here. So I'm just going to change it to automatic, but you can change it. Line, area, square, circle, and so on. You can also change it into a density. This is kind of a density map, right? Let's keep it simple. What I wanted to do is I just wanted to bring the sales into colors and see how it works. It's just drag and drop, right? All I did is selected color, sales, and drop into colors. So once I do that, you would be able to see the colors representing light color for some of sales, some the countries with less number of sales, and dark color for more sales, right? I can always change the color by selecting here, edit color. I wanted to like have green color for this. So let's say green, and I select OK. Okay. What this represents is basically less green for countries which is having less number of sales, and more green for countries with more number of sales, right? So now these are plain maps, right? So when I hover over it, you'll be able to see country and sales. This is called tooltip. When I hover over it, you would be able to see data that is appearing, right? So that is called tooltip. You can edit the tooltip, you can add to the tooltip by selecting on this. When I click on this, you are able to see the country and sales, right? Let's say I wanted to add profit also in the tooltip alone. So what I will do is I will drag the profit, drop it into tooltip. So now when you hover over it, you'll be able to see country, sales, and profit. Now I want the country names here, which is nothing but my data label. So what I will do is I will just press Control, drag my country name from here and drop it into label. So now you'll be able to see the country name is appearing. And I want sales also to be represented here, right? It doesn't make sense because it will become a little congested here. So I'm just leaving it aside, right? But the purpose of this is to basically show you guys how to use data labels. Data labels, just like you use in any tool or in Excel, it is a way it makes the data labels available in the data visualization. Okay, so I can take that off, I can have it, I can click on it, I can format it and do all those things. Okay, now let me just remove it. I just brought that in just to show you guys how it works, but then let's remove it. What I am seeing when I hover over it is more than enough for me. Right, now let's name this as map And then let's say, what is the sales different countries, right? Question mark. Now, what I wanted to do is just to get a basic understanding of what is the level of detail that is available, how the data is distributed. So let's say, let's take category. I'm double clicking on this, and then let's say sales. Now I will go to show me. You would be able to see the graphics that is made available for the selection which we have made here, right? All these graphics are made available based on the dimension and the measure you select here. Dimension is nothing but what you have at the top of your line, and measures are nothing but what you see at the bottom of it. Let's say I want a pie chart. I select a pie chart and you will be able to see it. I'm going to the top of my button and then I'm saying fit should be not standard, but I want entire view. Right? And then I want to put some labels to it. So let's say I go to category, drag it, and I drop it into the labels. Now I'm able to see the numbers, the data label, right? I wanted to have the sum of sales also. So let's say I bring in sales, I drop it into labels. Now, this is good, but I want this number to be represented in a different format, right? So what I will do is I will just click on sum of sales. You will be able to see format. Just like in any Excel or any other tool, you'll be able to see different ways of formatting it. All I'm doing is going into number, saying number custom, and changing the display units to say million, right? So this makes our visualization a little bit neat. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change this and say this is our pie chart. And let's say what are the sales numbers for category. Okay, now what we will do now is we will try to go to the next level of detail. Before we do that, if you look at this color, right, this is all bright colors, which is good, but some business environments would always request you to have these colors in a mild way, right? Let's say we wanted to change it. I'm going to go into the category, edit color, and I'm just going to change this color to variance of blue tea. Assign palette, you would be able to see it is applied here, and then I click OK. Now you would be able to see the same graph with a better color. Probably this is something based on my preference, but you guys don't need to like really follow this color format, right? But then let's move on and do another visualization. What I wanted to show you guys is basically a horizontal bar chart, which is very commonly used. Double click on subcategory, double click on sales, and you would be able to see the number. I'm going to show me selecting my horizontal bar. Now let's change this to entire view like we did in the previous graph, and then let's sort it for better clarity. This sort shortcut would enable you to sort it. There are advanced sort options, which is probably advanced topics, but then this sort would ready-madely help you to sort it from ascending to descending or descending to ascending. Right now, again, I wanted to also highlight, these are my subcategories, but I want to highlight which category these belongs to. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing in my category and dropping into color. Notice what is happening. Once I do this right, Tableau automatically takes the color that we applied in our previous view just to make it consistent. Okay, now let's say this is bar. Let's probably get some data label added. Click on data label, show data label. And then I want to change this format for better readability. So I will click on this field, format, change the display unit to millions. Okay. So while we are doing this, a couple of things you guys would have noticed is whenever you double click the data, it appears in the columns and details, right? Let's say, I'll just show you. When we double click subcategory, when we click sales, you would see that subcategory is in rows and sales is automatically added to the text, right? Now subcategory is here and rows is in sales is in text. But then when you go to show me and when you say change it into a bar graph, you would be able to see the field has automatically shifted to columns, right? This is because Tableau automatically changes it based on the visualization you select. But let's say I'm just clearing this by using this icon, clear sheets. And let's say I'm doing this manually. Okay, I'm not double clicking it. Instead, what I'm going to do is, bring in the subcategory into rows and then sales into columns. You will achieve the same result. Okay, so this is just to make sure that you understand the concept of rows and columns. Okay, now let's delete this. We already have a bar chart, so we are good there. Now I wanted to look at some trend, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in this order date. Double click on that. You would be able to see year, right? And then you would be able to see a plus symbol, which basically says this particular date column can be scaled down to quarter, month, week. Okay, I'm going to select on this and I'm just changing it to replicate. I'm just changing it to show both the quarter and year together. Let's click on this. You're able to see the data represented in year and quarter. Now let's click on sales. I just double clicked on it and you would be able to see Tableau automatically populates it as a line graph, because whenever it is a time variant, it is always recommended to have a line graph to show the trend. Now I wanted to show a little variant to it. I wanted to bring in the category also to show category wise quarter, right? Category wise sales. So I'm just dragging category, dropping into columns, right? A neat line graph which shows kind of all the category wise sales. Let's say these are trend. Okay, let's say this is trend. Now, there are a lot of ways you can represent this trend. I will just show you one other method. So if you just duplicate it, right? Like duplicate. You can change this here, right? You can change it as a bar. You'll be able to get a stacked bar like this. You can change it as an area graph. You will get something like this, which would be interesting. Or you can change it in whatever way you want, right? Based on polygon, right? So these are advanced charts, but in some businesses, in most often, it is asked to stick to the basic chart. So let's start from the basic, right? So let's do this. And then let's look into one more interesting chart, just the scatter plot. So let's say we wanted to understand the relationship between profit and sales. How do we do it? Both are measures. I'm going to double click on sales and double click on profit. When I do this, you will be able to see one single dot here, right? Now you will see how the level of detail helps. Let's say I wanted to bring customer name into level of detail. When I do this, you will be able to see the data for profit and sales is split across different customers. All these, what you see here are customer names, right? Customer name wise profit and sales would be displayed here. So let's say I wanted to bring some color. I wanted to show the category also. So I'm bringing category into color. You'll be able to get a nice graph that represents everything that is in the form of categories. Right? Let's say I wanted to change this into size as well. Let's say I wanted to make the size change based on the sales numbers. So I'm just dragging sales and dropping it to size. Notice what is happening. When you just click on the size and when you change the size, you would be able to see based on the sales number, the size of the circle is increasing, right? So this is a very overview level what you can do with respect to charts in Tableau, right? At a very overview level. There are a lot to it, but just wanted to show a glimpse of what you should be expecting out of it. Okay, let's say this is scatter. Right here, I will just say relationship between sales and profit. Now, let's say we have developed all the visualization that is required. Okay. Now, I want to put this together into a dashboard. So all I'm doing is, let me do it from the beginning. Excuse me. All I'm doing is, I'm going beside the new worksheet to create new dashboard. I'm just clicking on this. And when I click on this, you would be able to see different options that is available for dashboarding. This is the space that you would be building your dashboard. There is size to it. There is device preview where you can create the dashboard for your computer, desktop, or phone, tablet, or anything. And then the sheets which we created here is listed out here. And there are objects you can use to build the visualization, right? There is also a feature called layout where you can play with the formatting. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to increase the width of it. Okay, and I'm going to increase the height a bit. Now, I want a dashboard title. Let's say show title, and I'm saying sales dashboard. Okay, now all I require to bring this sheets into a dashboard is just drag and drop. So maps, I'm just dragging, and if you see, once I drag it, Tableau will automatically show where I can place it by the gray area. I'm dropping it here. You will be able to see the map that is appearing here. And then I want the pie chart, I'm just dragging it, and when you try to bring it onto the dashboard, it shows like exactly where you want to drop it. Let's say I want to drop it here. And then bar, again, I would like to drop it at the bottom. Trend, again in the bottom. And then scatter plot, again in the bottom. Okay, now I'm just formatting it. I'm just bringing the sales legend here. I'm just clicking on more options, removing the show title because I don't need the title, making it optimized. I want the map to appear a little more bigger, so I'm just dragging it. Okay, and then I don't need the category because we already have the category name here, so this is irrelevant. And I don't need the sales number. So I'm just freeing up a little more space for the dashboard to fit in real nice. So this is how it looks. You can always change the size of this font just to make it a little little smaller, right? You can do this. You can do this as well. So bar chart. You can play around with the titles in whatever way you guys want. So I'm just making this a little more bigger, right? And then I'm just making these things equal here. right? Now you can resize this because it is taking more space. 10, 10. I'm just double clicking on this, changing the sizes. Okay, so that's it, right? Everything is done. Now we will look at what are actions. So what you see here is when you just hover over it, you are able to see all the data. Let's say I wanted to hover over it and I wanted to see what is inside technology. I wanted to see all the other categories changing based on my selection. So all I need to do is select on this. You'll be able to see a filter symbol here which says use as filter. I'm just selecting on this. And then when I click on this, you'll be able to see everything is changing as per my selection. Right? You can do the same thing for the map as well. Let's say I select a map. I select India. You'll be able to see the numbers changing for the countries. China, Russia, Australia, Canada, right? Interactive, right? Now, let's say this is a dashboard which you guys have developed and you need to publish this somewhere so the users can use it, right? So that is where in a Tableau Public, what you would be doing is, this is the dashboard which I've developed. Let's say this is test. I'm just renaming it. You will go to file, you will go to save to public as. To have this, you should have a public profile. So you will have to sign up for a Tableau Public. So when I click on this, you will be able to see a sign up account opening. I've already registered myself in the Tableau Public. I'm just entering the username and password and I'm giving sign up. Notice what is happening. When I do that, it will ask for the name. Let's say test workshop, and I say save. So it is in the process of publishing. It is kind of sending the data to the server. And then once it is published, it will automatically open that particular web page for you. It has opened for me. Let me see if I'm sharing it. See this. So this is how it will open. So once you publish it, your dashboard would be published to the server like this. After it is in the server, you can probably, I think I should have increased the height of it a little bit more so it is a little more clear. But then you can change all the modifications. You can just say like, okay, increase my height again, right? You can just increase the height and width in whatever way you want, and then whatever changes you are making, the dashboard would scale accordingly, and then you can publish it back, right? So you can very well do that, but the purpose of this is to make you guys understand how to form a basic visualization and how you would be publishing it into the server. So I know this is something which we developed in a limited time, but if you guys really wanted to get to a proper dashboard for analysis, I'm going to just send you guys my Tableau Public profile. So you guys would be able to look at all the dashboards that is out here. You would be able to download the dashboard which is out here and use it for your own analysis. So you can definitely do it. So look at this, use this for your analysis, and it should help you getting started, right? So let me go back to the PPT now. Now that we have created our first visualization, let's touch base on few other important things. Okay, now let's look at the dashboard practice and creation. The dashboard link which we used is out there in the link which I sent. You can follow me guys in the public profile, and you can download all the dashboard which I published, and then the session recordings would be circulated with you guys, so that once you have time, you can replicate whatever we did in this session on your own space, right? Now I'm just opening it for the question time. We have a couple of updates on what is required for the Tableau certification, and also certain discounts that is available for the courses. So before that, I just wanted to open it up for questions. So whatever questions you guys have, please start pinging, so that we will take a couple of minutes to address it and get started with the Tableau certification and a few other things. Can the data visuals be copied to presentation in order to prepare MIS? You can do that. There are several ways you can export data out of the Tableau dashboard, but then the best practice is to basically use Tableau Server, because all those animations which I showed you guys is something that will work only on Tableau Server. So when you're exporting into a PPT, it would be just an image. For Tableau, it's mandatory to know statistics are optional. I don't think statistics is required for Tableau. It is a tool which makes it easier to understand data, right? So Ganesh, yes, Shankar, yeah. Instead of using Tableau Desktop, validity is 15 days per mail ID. Can we use Tableau Public? You can use Tableau Public. So what we are using is Tableau Public in this demo session. But the only thing is, like, when you are, as I said, there are limitations in data connections. When you want to connect your Tableau to the SQL server, you won't be able to do it in public, right? So that is the limitation. Tableau Desktop validity is 15 days. It's an enterprise version. So once your company is using it, you can learn public and start using the professional version. How can we display the top 5 and bottom 5 sales in the same view? I just showed you, I believe. Okay, I showed it in the previous example. So all you need to do is just click on the filter, and then when you go into the filter, there is a top 5 option and bottom 5, top and bottom option. You can play around it. Tableau required the formulas like Excel. Yes, I know we did not cover the calculated fields in this short demo, but Tableau has really good calculated fields, like formulas we can put in. That is very simple to use in Tableau, and you would be able to create things out of it. Okay, if you want to send someone a file or dashboard, how to send in public, you cannot do that. So that's the limitation of it, Sweta. So let's say if you want to create a dashboard in public, and if you want others to use it, you will have to publish it into the Tableau Public server, like what I did. But if you do that, you cannot restrict the users, right? You can share it with anyone, but at the same time, the entire world will be able to see it. It's a public data. Okay. Okay. Like every charts have a primary and secondary access. Please share the combination trends, how to make. Vaishnavi, there is. I know, like, there are a lot of topics which you guys wanted to understand, but then the kind of demo session, it's kind of had given only the basics out of it, but primary and secondary access is there in Tableau. It's pretty simple. I will probably try to show you guys at the end of the session if time permits. Can we use Tableau to visualize streaming data? Interesting question, Divya. It is based on the backend support which you're having. So Tableau would be able to consume the data, but the platform which you're having to get the streaming data, that is important. Okay. In general, can I say Tableau is an extension to pivot dashboard in Excel? No, I don't think so. Sharath, those are two different things. Like, once you understand the full capabilities of Tableau, probably it will answer your question. Some interviewer are giving assignments. So how can we send them? Interviewers, if they are giving assignments, you can just put it into public and you can share it with them. Or if it is confidential data, you can there is an option where you can, based on the different versions of Tableau, the way you share in public also has been changing. Previously, there was an option for you to share it using PDF, but I'm not sure if it is still there or not. But if it is an interviewer, he should be able to understand it's a free version. Can we connect Tableau directly to the DB like SQL or Postgres to get the data from the tables instead of first preparing Excel? You can definitely do that, Isha. That is the best way of doing it, and that is what anyone should do in Tableau. Directly, I know in the public version, the access for the SQL and Postgres data is not there, but in the actual version, you will have for everything. Can Tableau be used for forecasting? Yes, it can, but not to the extent of data science. Tableau has certain default forecasting options, which helps you forecast your sales, but it won't have the capabilities of forecasting in terms of statistical methodologies. Okay. Okay, I believe I've answered all the questions. Now let's quickly go on to our session. Now let's briefly look at Tableau certification. So first of all, a lot of people would try to understand if Tableau certification is mandatory. If you ask me, being in this space for quite a long time, I wouldn't say it's mandatory, but I wouldn't say it is. We should not. It is not useful also. So in certain cases where you're trying to kickstart your career on Tableau, certifications are definitely useful. So let's see, what I wanted to show you guys with respect to Tableau certification is what Tableau has in its official website. So let me quickly pull that up and I will show you what it is and how the course is aligned with it. Okay, so let me say Google Tableau certification. So when you go into your Tableau certification, right, when you scroll down, there are like 4 levels of certification for Tableau Desktop. There are some certification for Tableau Server. There are some certification for partners. But my majority of the focus would be here because this is where Tableau Desktop comes into picture. The server level certifications are mostly for IT guys who are maintaining the server rather than creating the visualization. So if you click into this exam details, you would be able to see the cost of it, which is $100. And then you would be able to see Tableau preparation guide. So when you click download, this is the Tableau's preparation guide. It will have the type of questions that you will be facing in Tableau certification. And it will have the skills based on what we would be measured. So the reason I wanted to show you guys this is what you see here is based on what the training which is being offered through Excelytics is designed upon. In fact, what the training content of this particular training would be to the next level, which is the Tableau Certified Associate. So if you look at the next level certification, when I open it, it's $250 and it is 2-year valid. Okay, the previous certification doesn't have validity, it doesn't expire, but this certificate experts, it's a little more advanced expert level certification and it requires, it is available only for 2 years. So whenever, I think probably like based on when you guys wanted to do a jump or when you guys are looking for a career, you can very well do this. So if you look at the exam prep guide here, you'll be able to see skill sets based on what you would be measured. So the content which I would be covering in this session in the training would be to this level. So once the training is completed, you should have a very good understanding of all the second level topics also. So the purpose is for anyone to go through the training, and once they are able to do enough practice out of it, they should be able to appear to this and complete this training without any issues, right? So that's the purpose of it. But obviously, once the concepts is covered, it requires good level of time commitment from you guys to perform a good level of practice before you appear for the examination. because as you see in the prerequisite, each certification would require, I believe, uh, 5 months of practice for the first level and 12 months of practice for the second level. Okay, so that is about certification. And then let's look into the next steps. So I'm going to tell you guys why it is important to get trained. See, it is one thing to understand the tool and perform some basic things, but then it is another thing to actually master the tool, right? The kind of business environment we are in is a non-ideal world, and then it requires a lot of confidence and competency to get the challenges of the non-ideal world and resolve it for the users, right? And then for a Tableau certification, it is not only the primary research which you guys do in the online that is going to help out to kickstart it. For a Tableau certification, you need the handhold that is required to get trained to appear for a certification confidently, right? And analytics, whenever anyone is trying to move into analytics, need in-depth hands-on knowledge on Tableau and the kind of data visualization practices we saw. So for them to kickstart their career in analytics, getting trained is important. Okay, now why Excelytics? Excelytics basically has a lot of professionals who basically teach what they do, right? Next, learning is made interesting. There are a team of experts who help you guys, and then real world projects would be used, and there are excellent feedbacks from the previous batches. So all these things are the capabilities of Excel, and that is one of the reasons you guys should consider Excelytics. Okay, and then there is 20% off for the first 10 enrollments. So whoever wants to get enrolled in advanced trainings of Tableau with me, so the first 10 enrollments or the registrations would get a 20% off on the total amount for the course. Okay, so that is about it, and I would tell you guys to stay in touch. I know like this has been a very short session, so I was only able to give you guys a gist of what Tableau can do. So if you guys want to be better updated, keep in touch with Excelytics. Excelytics has a YouTube channel. It is there in LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and keep in touch with me as well for any questions technically or career based. I also have a YouTube channel that has videos on various things. LinkedIn, Twitter, I'm available on both these platforms. You can reach out, and these are the contact details of Excelytics. Now, before we close it, so that is all basically I had for the session. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up for any questions that you guys have. So anything you guys have, just put it in the chat window. Can I get your Sajal, can okay, how will we get the recorded sessions of this class? Divya will reach out to you with all these recordings. Thank you. Thanks, Ganesh. What is the fees? Fees for certification? Divya, please reach out to Excelytics. Divya, how often you conduct such sessions? Sajal, please reach out to Excelytics. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for all your time. I really hope this is useful in getting started with Tableau. Can you provide Tableau developer path? What are the requirements and prerequisites? Guys, I think we discussed about it, Vijay. So probably like if it is a little more in-depth question, please reach out to Excelytics if it is about the course, or reach out to me if you want anything related to development. So keep posting your questions, guys. Other than that, the course Thank you for the session. That is all I had. People who have questions, please stay. I will be here for another 5 to 10 minutes to answer your questions. Others, please have a wonderful weekend and reach out to me or Excelytics if there is any concerns. Fee details of the close. Abhishek, Divya will get in touch about it. It was very helpful. Thank you, Vaishnavi. Thank you. I hope it helped. Can you provide Tableau developer path? Vijay, probably like get in touch with me or Excelytics separately based on your requirement. Thank you guys. Thank you for all the thank you notes you have given. Okay, any other questions? Thank you. Thank you, Kalpana. Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, Pintu. It was very helpful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sajal. Thank you. Any branch of Excelytics in Pune? I don't think so, Rishikesh. So probably Divya, can you help Rishikesh? Nitin, good session. Thank you, Nitin. Thank you. I hope this is helping you guys getting started in the direction towards Tableau. Shravani, thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you, Shukriti. Thank you, Ankit. Recording will be there, Shrikant. So Divya would be sending out the recording for you guys. So that would be there. Sai, thank you. Okay, I think I've addressed questions, all the questions. Hey, Ankit, I'm so sorry. I think I told before. So the session is over. So thank you very much. You guys can leave the session. So anyone who has questions, please stay. The rest can leave the session. Thank you very much for your time. Feedback form, there is no option for Tableau in category. Preetham, in feedback form, there is no option for Tableau in category. Divya, can you help Preetham, please? She says there is no category as Tableau in the feedback form. Thank you. Shrikant, thanks, Shrikant, for your time. Ankit also says there is no option of Tableau. Divya, can you please address this? Thank you very much, Rao. Thanks, Rao. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Kumar. Okay. About the feedback links, I think Divya would be sharing an email. So watch out for that email, guys. So a lot of guys are saying there is no option for Tableau. So guys, I think Divya will be reaching out to you guys through email. So please keep a watch out for the email, how the recording would be shared with us. Sajal, Divya would be sharing it, but I think, I'm not sure in which way. I think it would be in the form of YouTube. Okay. But it will be communicated to you guys. Before we end the session, please clear. Vaishnavi, probably you can reach out to about this question. I don't have much clarity, Vaishnavi, so probably reach out to Divya, Excelytics. Uh, yeah, okay, thank you. How can we get in touch with Divya about future sessions and for recordings? Sakshi, uh, I am not sure. Like Divya, can you reach out to Sakshi, please? She's asking like, how can we get in touch with Divya? The courses offered is only online. Is there any branch in Bangalore? It is only online for now, Priyanka, given the situation we are in. So, Sakshi, I think Divya has given you the contact details for Excelytics. You can call at any time to get more clarity. Preetham, thank you. Thank you for your time. Nancy, thank you, Nancy. Thank you for your time. Okay, so thank you everyone for your time and attention. So I hope like this really helped you guys to get started in the direction of Tableau, and anything you need in terms of direction, please reach out to me, get in touch. And then if you guys wanted to get more hands-on, get trained more, please also look out to the training options that Excelytics has. Uh, I would be going through all the trainings. So please watch out. Thank you, everyone. Sakshi, please reach out to that number. That is, I believe, Divya's number. So you can reach out to her. Bharat, I've just given the contact details of mine as well as Excelytics is below. So reach out to like, based on your question, reach out to either of us. Thank you, Sakshi. Okay, awesome. Thank you, everyone. I have addressed most of the questions. And then if you have any further questions, you can reach out to the number which is specified for Excelytics. Or if there is any further question, I've given my contact details also. Have a great day. Have a great Sunday. See you later.